Namaste. On behalf of Chairperson Ms. Shubhra Maheshwari and her committee, I, Gunjan Sindhi, Honorary Secretary FICCI Flow, would like to extend a warm welcome to our illustrious guest, Ms. Mandira Bedi, our distinguished past chairs, and our esteemed members. I would now like to request everybody to rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय ही भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे
I would now like to request our illustrious guest speaker, Ms. Mandira Bedi, past chairs, Ms. Jyotsna Angara, Ms. Monica Agarwal, Ms. Manjula Reddy, Ms. Sona Chatwani, Ms. Ajita Reddy, and Ms. Usha Rani Mane to step forward for lighting of the lamp. The video of the national anthem featuring the illustrious past chairpersons of Flow and Y Flow Hyderabad and celebrates women empowerment that gives us the freedom to chase dreams beyond all boundaries is sung by our Kokilas Vandana Shetty, Priya Gazdar, Ananda UBL, and Radhika Sriram. I would now like to invite all the EC members to be ready for a photo shoot, please. I would now like to invite Flow and Y Flow past chairs, Ms. Mansi, now you can join, and Ms. Sonali Saraf to join for a photo. Followed by Core Committee and EC heads. Accomplished Ms. Mandira Bedi and our chairperson, Ms. Shubhra Maheshwari, to grace the dais. I request Chairperson Ms. Shubhra Maheshwari to felicitate our speaker with a memento. Events team, memento, please. I request Vanna Shetty to bring the autograph sheet for our esteemed speaker's autograph. I would now like to invite Chairperson Ms. Shubhra Maheshwari to address this August gathering and enlighten us with her vision.
Afternoon, everybody. It's such a nostalgic feeling to come to offline events. Takes me back to 2019 when we were at Park more often. The start of something new brings hope of something great. Anything is possible. It is with immense pleasure and joy that I stand here and welcome all of you for the first event of the year 2022-2023. We are beginning the year with a hope and promise that we will have an empowering and intellectual year ahead at Flow Hyderabad. I take this opportunity to thank Flow Hyderabad's past chair council for trusting me to lead the dynamic chapter. Our PCC is a strong, powerful group of ladies who act as friends, philosophers, guides, and mentors. It's an honor and privilege to lead this dynamic chapter of strong-willed women dedicated to empowering each other and the society. This year at Flow Hyderabad, our vision for the year 2022 is of a stronger she, an endeavor to provide systematic and tailored resources for women to build long-term and sustainable livelihoods for themselves and for the society. We will therefore curate programs and initiatives in a three-pronged approach to address those specific needs to create maximum impact and benefit for women. At the grassroots level, we will assist women with entrepreneurship programs to launch their businesses in a sustainable manner and skill development programs for better employment. For middle level, we will provide networking and incubation programs which will enable them to start their entrepreneurial journeys. For women at senior level, we will promote leadership by providing the necessary tools to take up key management and board positions in the industry. The theme for the year is financial literacy, a pan-India initiative which will focus on empowering women from all walks of life to become more financially independent and secure. We will also place a special emphasis on women and children with disabilities by organizing impactful programs and initiatives to skill and integrate them into the society. IT team, can I have my vision video, please? The world today needs strong women. Women who will lift and build others. Women who will live bravely. Women of indomitable will. A woman is a full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform. Our logo for the year 2022-2023 depicts power, strength, and resilience, the magnificent and the powerful lion. As we take a closer look at the pride of lions, the lioness is the backbone of the pride. Lioness are the core. Similarly, a woman is the supreme force of nature. Our vision for this year is assess, adapt, and accelerate. Assess the damage done by the pandemic. Adapt to the opportunities, situations, and circumstances in the post-pandemic era, and accelerate into a journey of newer heights and achievements. Therefore, our vision for this year at Flow is to brighten this light, to promote women's sense of self-worth, their ability to determine their own choices, and their right to influence social change for themselves and others. This year, we are committed to create a better future for women of all walks of life by helping them hone their Shakti to overcome ups and downs in life, leverage their Samarthya to become financially and digitally independent, and have the Shaurya to believe that they can achieve whatever they put their minds to. Our vision is of a stronger she, whether she's a homemaker from a small rural area or a young student unsure of a future or the director of a Fortune 500 company. So our initiatives in alignment with the vision of the national president are being taken up with the purpose of creating an ecosystem where women can catapult each other to higher levels of empowerment, while bringing along the women from the underprivileged sections of society as well. Here sharing a bird's eye view of the blueprint of our initiatives.
At Flow, member engagement, enrichment, and evolution shall be given emphasis via speaker sessions, field trips, workshops, and out of the box conclaves and panel discussions. We shall also promote business networking amongst our Flow members. Financial literacy. This initiative is to empower women from different strata of society to make independent decisions and to be better prepared and financially secure in their lives, whether it is a lady from a grassroots level or the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Women's skilling and support. This initiative will aim at upheaval and skilling upgradation of Flow adopted village district in Telangana, primarily Narayanpet. Impact. An initiative to empower differently abled people, be it mentally handicapped or physically handicapped, to provide them sustainable livelihoods, skill sets, etc. Quest for the Best. An initiative to open young minds to the inspiring world of opportunities, just like a finishing school for young college-going girls from government colleges who need that professional touch to be prepared for the corporate world. Seed to Succeed. An initiative to supplement school curriculum for government school children or under poverty school kids with necessary trainings to start building leaders at a young age. Primarily will focus on computer literacy and self-defense. Telangana Art and Culture, an initiative to revive and promote the different art forms and culture of Telangana, be it handloom, food, crafts, etc. Empowerment, an initiative to promote and nurture innovative women-led startups and business through knowledge-based trainings and tie-ups. Women with Wings, to help create an experience for our members by handcrafting holidays tailored to suit their taste and leaving a lasting impression and new learnings via various field trips in and around the city. Style Tattva, Flow Hyderabad's signature fashion and lifestyle march. The biggest exhibition in Hyderabad, which focuses not only on fashion and lifestyle but also on various categories like interiors and home decor, health and wellness, and startups. We shall also be providing free space to weavers to support them in their journey. Stronger She is a bold and fierce beauty, yet gentle and nurturing like a true queen should be. She is ambitious, she is driven, she is independent, she is a mastermind, she is supportive, she is tender, she is caring, she is creative. She is us.
Thank you. She is this year. So now that everybody's seen the video, we have to get together to convert it into tangible results. This year, we will move forward with the conviction that it is imperative to ensure all parts of our society are given their due importance and chance to participate in this economically valuable pursuit. We have an exciting schedule planned for April. Please save the dates you see on screen so you do not miss out. The details of each event will be released in due time. Our enthusiasm is fueled by your participation. We have a power-packed April and we will lie low in May as most of us would be traveling this summer. We are launching our signature lifestyle exhibition Style Tattva on 18th and 19th of June. After a hugely successful first edition 2 years ago, we are coming back for the second edition and we are confident that it will be as spectacular as before. We shall organize members' preview on 17th of June. Before we get into the captivating and motivating session with our eminent speaker, I would like to draw your attention to a few key initiatives and announcements. Subscription renewal. We have a great year planned for all of you, and in order to make the most of the best and most insightful programs and initiatives, I urge you all to renew your subscriptions for the year at the earliest. We have a subscription renewal desk outside, which will help you pay right now post the event. Make use of that. I'm happy to report our first round of interviews was held on 23rd March, in which 26 new members were selected. I would like to thank our membership team and members who referred potential candidates. Looking forward to more such collaborations and seamless coordination throughout the year. This year, we are expanding the role of InHub team to include business networking. Networking is more than just handing out a business card. It's about interacting with people, engaging them for mutual benefit. As we all know, it can help establish a new business or grow an existing one. We can also use networking as a tool for finding out investors, customers, staff, suppliers, etc. Therefore, we are committed to providing as many opportunities to our members to grow and expand in their careers. We will be curating networking meets, offline mostly, to cater to the specific needs of the members' businesses. We shall shortly release a Google form for the same, and the first 50 applicants shall be selected for the first business networking meet. We at Flow want to promote self-owned businesses first. We are also introducing a series called My Story series with past chairs, where the members will get a chance to interact with and listen to the women who made history at Flow Hyderabad. Flow Marketplace is another endeavor to showcase brands to the elite audience of Flow at a negligible advertising cost. Feel free to contact our marketplace lead, Ms. Pooja Mitra. Finally, I would like to end by reiterating to everyone about the Flow Code of Conduct. Being a professional organization, our members are expected to adhere to a certain set of protocols at all given points of time. All members are expected to be dressed in formal attire. My sincere request to everybody, please be dressed in an outfit in which you can attend a business meeting of your own business. If a particular outfit you think you cannot meet your client, please don't wear it to Flow also. It helps give a very professional look to the entire body. We are expected to maintain a high level of confidentiality and integrity in all work undertaken by the chapter. Same is expected from our members as well. We are expected to conduct ourselves professionally at all gatherings as we are representatives of Flow to the outside world. I'm looking forward to a year filled with learning and camaraderie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shubhra, for your insightful address. Let me now introduce our speaker for the day, Ms. Mandira Bedi. Pain shapes a woman into a warrior. These are her words and describes her the best. Not just a successful actor or a television presenter, but an optimist, an enthusiast of fitness, spiritual gratitude, motivation and fashion, a paragon of courage, positivity, kindness, style, and oodles of charm is Ms. Mandira Bedi for us. We have all seen and heard about how she started as an actor and effortlessly justified the dynamic characters from her being a sweet girl, Preeti, in DDLJ, to Shanti, a strong, confident character in one of her first daily soaps of Indian television. With her motto of, "I do what I believe in," she has been an inspiration to a number of people, challenging the societal stereotypes by being one of the India's first female television presenter for international cricket. She had encouraged and paved the path of many in anchoring industry. While taking all the brunt, she made it look so effortless to be the voice of the layperson in the male-dominant cricket world. She has pivoted her way back to the acting industry, and her journey is a true example of how, with the right attitude and gratitude in the heart, one can overcome any hurdle and transform the struggles and challenges in life as lessons to learn and grow with happiness. Welcome, Mandira. We are delighted to have you with us today. I now request Chairperson Shubhra Maheshwari to take the session forward.
Before Shubhra says something, Gunjan, I'm coming for FICCI Flow Hyderabad very, very often because nobody's given me an introduction as fantastic as that. Thank you. Wow. Feeling very good. Thank you.
Hi, Mandira. Welcome to Flow Hyderabad. And now that we know that you would be at least our quarterly speaker.
For sure, for sure.
We're delighted to have you here with us to share your experiences and life lessons. I know your story will be an inspiration to all our members. It's been long a case that women in positions of leadership have been few and far between in our country. However, slowly but surely this trend is changing, and it is largely due to the courage and perseverance of trailblazers like you. Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell us, what was your first foray into films? How the glamour world happened? How did you decide to get into the industry?
Okay, before I do that, firstly, I want to say that I know that Hyderabad is very, very fashionable, and it looks like all the fashionable women are here under this roof at this particular point of time. So you're looking beautiful, all of you. I hope I match up. I hope I sort of can fit in, because all of you are looking, one better than the other. Really nice to be here. All of you are looking very beautiful and very fashionable. Now, to start from the very beginning. Well, I started with Shanti, actually, not DDLJ. So Shanti was the first. And I come from a corporate background. My father worked for ICI for his entire working life. And my brother did his MBA in IIM Ahmedabad, and then he went on to, take up a job in a bank, and it was understood that that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I didn't have the brains or the aptitude to be a banker. I tried for the MBA schools, but didn't get into even one of them. I thought that media was going to be more my stream, and so I did a course called Social Communication Media, which is for advertising, filmmaking, being behind the camera. And when I was doing my internship somewhere, with a person called Prahlad Kakkad, he's the pioneer of ad filmmaking, and I was doing my internship with him, and it was a case of somebody seeing me during the shoot and saying, would you like to come in for an audition? And I had no expectations from it, but I went along for that audition, and then they called me for a second audition, and I went in for that one as well. And at the end of the third audition, they sat me down and said, okay, so what are your plans for the next 1 year? Because we are making this show called Shanti, the first ever daily soap on Indian television, and would you be keen? Would you be interested? And I was like, I haven't really acted in school. I was always the sporty kind. I was into, extracurriculars, but never the cultural type. So I took that leap of faith, and I must tell you, I also had got a job, because I had studied for it. I'd also got a job in advertising as a copywriter, as a creative writer in O&M. And then this is offered to me, Shanti. And I remember writing a letter to Piyush Pandey. He's the person who gave me the job. He's probably still is the creative director at Ogilvy and Mehta. And I told him, listen, I've got this one offer to be a part of the first ever daily soap on Indian television. I'm just going to give it a shot 1 year, and then I'm going to come back to writing. So we are now 27 years after that letter I wrote him. He still meets me and he says, there's that job in Ogilvy and Mehta, still open for you. When are you coming back? When are you coming to join us? So that's how the entertainment industry happened for me. I've not trained in acting, but it was Shanti that was like acting school for me. It also kind of set up a base, because she was a wonderful, strong, very inspiring woman, and I think a lot of her rubbed off onto me. I wanted to be like her, and that's how entertainment happened. And suddenly I found myself on the sets of Shanti, fighting for the cause of good lunch for everybody on the set. Because, they were giving us really...
They're also women empowerment.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know whether I was like Shanti before I became Shanti, but I became more like Shanti when I played Shanti. I don't know whether that makes sense. I've said that complicated sentence for the first time over here. So it was a wonderful experience. It was like acting school, and it was a wonderful character to play. She was so, it was the time, I must tell you, we didn't have emails then. People would just once in a while get onto the internet with that choo-chee sound that used to come. So emails were not very popular at that time. There was one room in our set for Shanti, which it was a room full of sacks and sacks of letters on those inland letter forms and those postcards of women who'd say, "We're inspired. We love Shanti. We want to be like Shanti." And I was like, I'd read those letters and say, even I want to be like Shanti. So I mean, that's how it started. It was a wonderful character, a first character for any actor to play, and I'd like to say a little bit of her has rubbed off on me, and I wanted to be like her, and I don't know whether I am like her because she was something else, but she was a very inspiring person to play to begin my journey in entertainment.
Thank you. And when you first started your acting career, the film industry was very male dominated. So, what was your experience being a part of industry in that time? Because Shanti was, as you said, the first soap on the television, and
Yeah, well, Shanti was the first ever daily soap on Indian television. She was also one of the first very, very strong women characters. There were some before. There was Rajni. You remember? Does anybody know Rajni? Yeah, Rajni used to go out and make things that are going wrong right. And then there was Shanti who did it in a different way. So yeah, that was television. Shanti as a character was before her time, I do believe. But the film industry was all about stereotypes for sure. So when I got offered to play Preeti in DDLJ, I'm firstly very grateful to be a part of history. It's still running on a matinee show in Mumbai. Still, through the pandemic, they made one show run on a Sunday morning. I think it's at 11:30. I think the people from Yashraj Films go there and sit and keep it going. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's still running, and it's history. So it's great to be a part of history, but that's as far away from the kind of character I want to be. Woman just waiting in the wings for the man to come along, the right man to come along. But anyway, that was my first foray into film. And post playing Preeti in DDLJ, I got offered to be everybody's bhabhi, sister, second lead roles. And I just, took a call at that particular point of time saying, if I'm getting a role like Shanti, which is a, strong, positive, dominating kind of character on television, and then I've done Preeti. I love playing Preeti. It was fun. It was interesting. I got to shake my hips first time in front of a camera. But I said no to a lot more films after that because there was stereotyping. Things have changed now with the web opening up and with different kind of cinema being made also now. But back then, if you played a Didi, if you played a bhabhi, if you played a younger sister, that's all you got after that. It was very difficult to cross over from there to anything else. So yes, there was a lot of stereotyping. Even with, it was very male dominated in the sense it would be the hero that would carry the film. The heroine just had to look pretty, and she'd have to be rescued. And finally, the heroine and hero got together, and end of the story. And that's how films were back then, 27 years ago, I don't know. I stopped counting after 25. I know I've been in the business for 25 years plus. Now you calculate what that plus is.
no, we won't calculate. You look 25, so we don't need to calculate.
Thank you. See, I'm coming to Ficky Flow Hyderabad again and again. I look 25, she says. Thank you.
From your roles in movies and TVs, they show them as an unconventional character of Shanti and all. And from there, you made an unconventional jump in career. You moved to cricket. I mean, you were the first woman television presenter, which was even more of an all-boys club, as it's called. How did that decision happen?
It's not a decision. I think I look back at my life and my journey, and I just say it's grace, it's God's grace. And at every step of the way, before I entered this room as well, and every project that I've done, and everything that's come my way, I just say it's God's grace. I'm very, very grateful. Opportunities have come my way. There is something to be said about, being sometimes at the right place at the right time. So it was not my decision to be, it came my way. It was not my decision to be the first cricket anchor. It's just that India had beaten England in the 2002 Champions Trophy to make it to the semi-finals of that tournament. And that was being played in Sri Lanka. And I have to tell you, Sri Lanka loved Shanti. So in India, Shanti played at 2:30 in the afternoon and then 10:30 in the morning. So it was daily programming, targeted purely for housewives. But it did so, so somebody bought it in, a network in Sri Lanka bought it. Sorry, I'm deviating for just a second. But a network in Sri Lanka bought it and put it on prime time. So it used to run at 8:30 in the evening every day, and it was very popular in Sri Lanka. So this cricket tournament was being played in Sri Lanka, and I said, okay then, and I liked cricket. I enjoyed cricket. I used to sit and watch a lot of cricket at that time. And I said, India's made it to the semi-finals. I have a lot of friends in Sri Lanka. I'm going to just buy a ticket and go to Sri Lanka. The tickets for the cricket, that I'll take care of when I get there. And I went to watch the cricket, and the broadcasters, Sony, they saw me there and they said, how come you're here? No, how come you're here? And I'm like, I'm here because I like cricket. And they said, 1 minute, you've paid your own money and bought a ticket to come to watch cricket? Because, celebrities are a spoilt lot. They like their tickets to be paid. They like everything, full, their back, hotel room, 10 people entourage, all the rest of it. I'm not like that. But anyway, I had paid for my own ticket, and I got to Sri Lanka to watch the cricket, and they said, okay, so then they thought if she's paid her own money to watch cricket, then she must like cricket. So that was it at that particular point of time, and a couple of weeks later, I'm in Bombay, and I get a call from Sony Max, saying that we want you to be a part of, we want you to come in for a meeting. So I went in for the meeting, completely cold, no idea what the meeting was going to be about. And when I got to the meeting, there were about 10 people who came into the room and sat down in front of me and then started asking me questions on cricket. And I'm like, what's going on here? Starting with, what's the score? Yeah, there's a test match on today. What's the score? And I happened to know Sachin was playing very well that day. I happened to know what Sachin was on. I happened to know what the score was. And then they asked me a couple of more questions. And then they said, how would you like to host the Cricket World Cup of 2003? And I was like, what? How would I like to? I would love to. Yes, it's a yes from me. But it wasn't as easy as that, because that was just the first part of the first rung. After that, they put me through a couple of auditions. Apparently, they auditioned a couple of 100 women. So this was just like one meeting. Yes, how would you like to? I would like to. Okay, now get into line. So I did a couple of auditions. I think it was 3 auditions, like with Shanti, 3 auditions. And 3 auditions later, they kind of zeroed in on me and they said, all right, we need 6 weeks from you, and the World Cup is being played in South Africa, and that's how it all happened. And I have to tell you, it was, again, not as easy as that, in spite of the grueling auditions and everything. It's one thing to do an audition with just you, me, 2 cameramen in a studio quietly. It's another thing when the red lights come on, and you know that the words that are coming out of your mouth this very second are being broadcasted across all of Asia. Suddenly there's a little bit of pressure on you, yeah? So the first week, 10 days were an absolute disaster. Every time we do any recording of anything that happened, I would just put my head down and I would cry because it went so badly. You know, there's a lot to be said about excess baggage. You know, when you let go of some baggage, there was that baggage of this is the first time a woman is doing cricket. Words once being uttered cannot be taken back. All of those things were going on in my head. I wasn't present in the moment, clearly. And that's how I wasn't very good in the first 1 week. In fact, I was a disaster. And then at the end of 1 week, they sit me down because they also noticed things were not going very well. So they sat me down and said, people from Sony, they said, you know, we've auditioned a couple of hundred women and chosen you. You're here to stay. You're panicking for some reason, so you might as well just let go. You're not expected to be an analyst, a commentator, or you're not expected to, you're just a presenter. We don't want you to be an expert. We don't want you to know everything that every purist sitting on that panel knows. So just go out there, have fun, ask whatever question that comes in your head. There were no scripts. Let me tell you, there were no scripts. Imagine I had to do everything myself. It was terrible to begin with. But somewhere along the way, whatever question came to my head, I would ask, because I was supposed to represent the layperson. I was supposed to represent the women. I was supposed to represent people who, I was there as a familiar face on television so that we could bring more women into this wraparound programming that Sony had. It was called Extra Innings. So that's how it started, and after that 1 week, and after that one chat they had with me, everything, I have to also tell you one thing. The people who were sitting on the panel were not very kind. Because the ex-cricketers themselves did not know what I was doing there. Why is a woman sitting on a panel? She's not, A, she's a woman. B, she's never played cricket. So she has no business being here. So I would ask a question about something, and they would just stare at me and then turn towards the camera and answer whatever they wanted to. It had nothing to do with my question. So naturally, that was also a little bit unnerving for me. That's why that first 1 week was a disaster. But post that, when I decided I'm going to have fun, heaven and hell is in your head. And it's literally like a switch. I am going to enjoy myself. I'm here to stay. So when I'd ask a question and they'd answer something else, I'd ask my question again. Eventually, they had to answer because it was live programming. And so suddenly I was like, you know what? I have some power over here. I'm in charge of things over here. So that's when it changed for me. And cricket taught me a lot, I must tell you. It taught me, firstly, that not everybody has to like you. And that is like a life lesson. You know, we all think that we want to be people pleasers. We want everybody to like us. We want everybody to, but that, as a person, whether you're in entertainment or not, everybody does not have to like you, and you have to make peace with that. You have to be okay with that. The second thing it taught me is the most valuable life lesson. It is very, very important to be in the moment, because the moment is all we have. So when I'd be asking questions, I'd be like, oh, if I stumbled on a word, I would just, in my head, beat myself up about that. I've messed up on those lines. I've messed up on those lines. I couldn't be present in this very moment. Or if I had something I needed to conduct, like a Q&A with somebody, like 1 hour later on the show, I'd be thinking about that. Again, I wouldn't be present in the moment. And what does every book of spirituality teach you? It's very, very important to be in the moment, because that's all we have, not just the moment, this breath in and this breath out. This is all we have. So cricket taught me how to be in the moment. And that is a very, very, very valuable life lesson. The other one was, heaven and hell is in your head. You can choose heaven, you can choose hell. It's in your hands.
I noted this down. I thought I should take this back home also. Heaven and hell are in the head. It's just a switch. That was so beautiful. Such an amazing life lesson. We see that not only the film and cricket industries, but there are many professions in India which are traditionally male-dominated, and today women are making inroads into such industries. Would you want to give some advice to our women professionals who are carving their path into male-dominated industries?
Whenever I fly and I hear the captain has to give her a little, captain has to give his little, is what we normally say. But every now and then there's a captain who has to give her a little, hello and welcome. We'll be cruising at so-and-so speed and so-and-so altitude and all that. When I hear a woman captain, I feel I'm in very, very safe hands. Yeah? So to hear women pilots, you hear of so many women who are now driving buses, they're firefighters, they're driving cabs. I do so much work for, the banking sector. I do a lot of events for the banking and insurance sectors. And there's so many women leaders who are, in insurance and in banking. So what advice I would give people who'd like to start their own businesses, people who are sitting over here, the most important thing is self-belief. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. You don't need other people to prop you up and tell you you're good. You don't need validation. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. So all those women who've made that foray into male-dominated spaces, who've broken, the glass ceiling, who've, conquered the male bastion, or whatever you want to say, they've done it because of self-belief. Self-belief is number one. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. If you believe in yourself, everyone else will have to come on board. So self-belief, that's just the one simple piece of advice that I'd give everybody who wants to create their own business, who wants to get into a space that is not normally, been sort of taken over by women. Self-belief. Believe in yourself and love yourself. We'll talk about self-love in a little bit, but self-belief is number one.
But having said that, now that the glass ceilings are being broken, women are foraying into very, very unconventional paths, there is still, the expectations from women towards the traditional role has not reduced. So there comes the quintessential word, multitasking. Each one of us is multitasking at any given point of time, but it's not easy. It's tough being a woman. With all due respect to the few men who are in the audience, and I'm sure you guys are here because you support us more, but it is a difficult task to multitask so much. How do you think women can deal with those kind of expectations of basically being a superwoman? I honestly feel I have a cape behind me all the time.
That's true. What I will say is that the Indian woman, she beats her Western counterpart by miles, okay? Because an Indian woman, she will continue to be a good daughter, a good daughter-in-law, a good mother, a good wife, of course, a good sister, and a career person all in one. Yeah? The Western counterpart, I'm not generalizing, but I'm just saying, they don't feel the expectation to continue to be a good daughter-in-law, do daughterly and daughter-in-lawly duties for the rest of their lives, but Indian women do. So, first up, a big round of applause for us Indian women, because we are something else. We really are. Now, when it comes to multitasking, when you're a working parent, I think, all of us have to find a formula that works for us. So what my struggles are different from what, her struggles are or her struggles are. Everybody has a different set of struggles, a different, method. So we have to juggle different responsibilities, and that juggle is a struggle for everyone. Yes. Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely.
So we all have to find a formula that works for us. I have to find a formula that works on a week-on-week basis. There are people who have 9-to-5 jobs. For them, they have a formula that's kind of up and running, and it's more or less similar. So we have to find that formula that works for us, and that's the only way to do it. I also say this, that women who want to take on everything themselves are also putting a lot of unnecessary burden on themselves. If you have a support system, please take help. You don't have to do everything yourself. I have, something, I'm a single parent, and I travel a lot, and I'm so, so grateful for my friends around me. Right now, my children are in Delhi with my parents, but when I'm in Bombay and I have to travel for work, I have an army of women who are my friends, and I say, you know what? When I'm traveling on so-and-so date, I reach out to one and say, can you come and spend the night at my house on so-and-so date? And she says, yes. I don't shy away from taking help. My friends want to help me, and I do reach out when I need the help. So when you have this is a support system in itself. You're so lucky to have each other. You can turn to each other and say, can you help with my children? I have to be away on work. And there'll be so many women who'll put their hands up. So please take help. You're so lucky. Flow is a platform and it's also a sisterhood. So take help. So that's what I say. One is the multitasking part of it, which we have to do. We have to find a formula and we have to find a way to juggle our struggles. And the other thing is, please take help because you have each other. Yes. And not just each other, you have your own girlfriends, you have your own support system, a lot of us have family in the same city. I don't have family in the same city, so I have my army of friends who help me. And whenever I need the help, there'll be somebody who'll stand up. Either I send my kids over to their house, or they come over to mine and they stay the night. My house is an open house, and I take help. So don't shy away from taking help because, as women, very often we feel this pressure to take on everything ourselves and we don't have to. So
I strongly believe this. I strongly endorse that. I always tell, even at Flow, if I'm sitting here, that's because there's a battalion of women sitting right here, helping me sit here. So I owe it to all these wonderful women out there.
You are lucky to have each other. Yeah, a big round of applause for each other. All of you are a sisterhood. I wish I was a part of Flow. I wish I had a sisterhood like this. I'd shamelessly take help.
Our membership is open.
Thank you. I know the membership desk is outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna apply.
There's the membership.
I'll be putting my kids on a plane and sending them to one of you.
You've always strayed off the beaten path, not only professionally, but also in personal life. The general norm in India has been women to get married, settle down, have a family at a young age. You had your first child at 39. What was your experience and why would, you beat that offbeat path?
Well, I'll tell you something. If I could go back in time about anything else, I have no regrets about anything in my life, none whatsoever. But if I do have one I wish I could have, that I wish I could have would be, I wish I could have had my son a little bit earlier. Because I was a very, very I still am a very career-oriented person. And I lived my life in my 30s full of insecurity because our business, the business of entertainment, is such that women have a shelf life. Women can work in this business up to a certain point and no more. At one point, work will just stop coming. So I was always looking over my shoulder saying, Abhi kaam khatam hone wala. It's just going to end now. So during my 30s were riddled with insecurities. I would think, any minute now it's going to end. Any minute now it's going to end. So I was very worried. The moment I decided to have a child, that's it. It's going to be the end of the road for me career-wise. I'm going to have to hang up my boots. And it's going to be at the age of 38, when I conceived, it was because I said, I do want to be a parent. And tick-tock, the biological clock is ticking. I need to have a child. I'm in my late 30s. So when I decided to have a child, literally I conceived in 2 months. Pat on my back and my husband's back for doing that. It was very quick. But at the age of 38, I conceived. At the age of 39, I had my son. And when I had my son, when I became a parent, and I started working 4 months after that, I just wondered to myself, why did I take so long in making that decision? Why did I wait so long? Because, like I said, if there's any regret I've had, if there's any I wish I could have, it would have been this, that I would have had my kids earlier. My daughter is adopted. My son is now 10 years old. And I wish I could have had him earlier because work continued. And may I tell you, I'm going to tell you this. At the age of in my 20s, I was like, wow. My eyes were wide open. And I was like, this is amazing. The entertainment business, oh, this is also happening. This is also happening. Wow, this is also coming my way. My 30s, I was always insecure. Look at the work she's doing. I wish I was doing that. Oh, look at the work she's doing. I wish I was doing that. Because, in the entertainment industry, there is insecurity. And people are always telling you, work can end any minute now. So 30s were just riddled with insecurities. After having my child, and in the 40s, that has been the best time of my life. The work that I've gotten has been the most satisfying, the most fulfilling, and volume-wise, the most ever. In my 40s, I have been my fittest. I have run 2 half marathons. So my 40s has been the best period of my life. So I can't understand why I delayed, but also, everything happens at the time it's supposed to happen. You cannot say that I wish I could have, I wish I did, because I was supposed to have my son at the age of 39. I was supposed to get my daughter in my mid-40s. I don't know what age I was at that point of time when she came. It was 1.5 years ago. Do the math. But, everything is supposed to happen. There's an affirmation I say every single morning over the last few years. Everything happens exactly at the time it's supposed to happen. Things are happening when they're supposed to happen. Nothing happens a moment before, nothing happens a moment after. So this was supposed to be my journey. My journey was supposed to be getting into parenthood late. And now, when I lie down, sometimes in my bed, my kids sleep with me. I have my son on one side and my daughter on the other. And I am just amazed and grateful for the journey I am blessed to have a child that I have given birth to, and to have a child who came to me at the age of 4.5, and who I've not given birth to, but I love so much. To have one and to adopt one, I think I am privileged to have a journey like that. I am blessed to have a journey like that. I'm special that I have a journey like that. So everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
So sweet. Absolutely true. Today, the world and India specifically are moving away from a predefined set of rules. We are seeing different types of families, a lot more diversity of work. Basically, people are choosing to live the life that suits them rather than being dictated by the societal norms. Yet, we are far away from the ideal state. So what would your take be for women on how to live their lives on their terms, overcome the stigma, and still meet up to expectations?
Well, I will have to say something about that question. Live up to expectations. Expectations are a bad thing. Expectations are, just the word expectation means something is expected of you, and if you don't meet or reach that goal, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. So I don't like the word expectation. I've grown up, I love my mom. At the outset, let me say that I love my mom. We fight a lot. But I grew up with my mom telling me, what will people think? What will people think? Don't wear clothes like that. What will people think? Don't be out so late. What will people this? What will people think? That I grew up with, which was never directed at my brother. Okay, I've had a very equal upbringing, I will give you this. Every opportunity my brother got, I got as well. So if I wanted to do my MBA, and if I had the aptitude and the brains, I would have. But, so I got an equal upbringing in that sense, but my mother always told me, what will people think? And that what will people think is something that I disliked and despised so much that when I grew up and became an adult, I reached a stage of not caring. I give a hang about what people think, because that's not the way to live life. You have to be able to, if you want to live life by your own terms, then you have to shun that what will people think tag that used to loom large over my head. So that is the way I live my life on my own terms, because I don't care about what will people think. There was a time, like I said, those 30s, I was very confused. I used to think about what people think. I used to think about what will people think about what I wear. I used to think about, oh, you know, I went for this event and they covered X celebrity and Y celebrity and they didn't put my picture in the papers. And it used to be a thing of wanting and seeking validation. And it's not just about the entertainment industry. In any industry, it should not be about validation, seeking validation. You have to try and be the best version of yourself. You have to try and be true to yourself and do what you think is right. As long as you're not hurting anybody along the way, as long as you're not trampling on anyone along the way, competition is a very nice thing. As long as you do it by doing things above board without hurting anybody, please don't give a damn about what people think. Please don't give a damn about expectations. I hate expectations because expectations set you up for disappointment. So the day I stopped caring about expectations, the day I decided, you know what, I'm going to unfollow all those people who cover celebrities and what they're wearing and who wore what when. The day I stopped doing that, I stopped caring about what bag I'm carrying. I stopped caring about what outfit I'm wearing. I stopped caring about whether I was being covered on, on those platforms or in the newspapers or not. They cover me, thank you. If they don't cover me, no problem. I don't care. So the day you stop caring and the day you stop seeking validation and the day you stop, trying to live up to expectations is when you can start living life on your own terms. And as long as you're not hurting anybody along the way, then please live your life like that. That's my advice.
Thank you. And now I would also like to embark upon one of the hats that you don, and which is a sensitive topic without barring exceptions. Okay, 95% of us, fitness. That 1-2 kgs that I know I can share, that 1 inch from here that can go, and you've been a fitness icon from the noodle strap at the cricket ground, or even in the pandemic. For those of you who don't know, she even started a 100-day fitness challenge.
Hey, get your facts right. 365 days.
Yeah. Because I was following her, so I gave up at 100.
And then I went on to 365.
Yeah. You started with 100, no?
I started with 100. By 95, I realized I'm enjoying this so much. What's going to happen when I touch 100? I'll have a sense of like FOMO, a sense of ab kya karoon? So I just converted that 100 into 365. So 100 days were already done. And I moved and I finished 365 days of activity and exercise. So
yeah, that was so amazing because when the world was in the lockdown and all, and people like me would say, oh, I'm a gym person, I'm a Zumba person, but then I would see her and she would do whatever is available in that balcony or the terrace or on the road. So how did so much of fitness get into you, and what's your motivation? Like, I have 200 reasons why shouldn't I exercise today?
Thank you firstly for calling me. No one's ever called me a fitness evangelist. I really like that term. I think I'm going to like when people ask me, what kind of introduction would you like? Firstly, I'll refer them to Gunjan. Say, whatever she said about me, say that. And then call me a fitness evangelist. I really like that. That's a very nice term. But fitness, now, firstly, I'll say, whatever the motivation is to get you into fitness, nobody's judging. So if it's to fit into a size 2 dress, great. If it's to sort of look good for a wedding, fantastic. Whatever it may be. For me, it was 2008 was the turning point. I was invited to be a part of Khatron Ke Khiladi, which is a reality show where you have to like do stunts. And I said to myself, I take my work very seriously. So I said to myself, if I'm going to be a part of this event, this show, I want to be a contender. I want to be a strong contender. I want to go there to win. So that's the first time I got a trainer. That's the first time I started training with a trainer. And I said, you know what? I want to be strong and fit for the show. So that's what got me into it. Then it stuck with me. So when I was pregnant with my son at the age of 38, my normal weight is 52 kilos. I was 74 kilos when I delivered. That's 22 kilos. So I said to myself, on the day of post-delivery, I said to myself, okay, the pasty little frog has arrived. My little son, I didn't fall in love with him to begin with. He looked like a frog. He looked like, what? This is what I have to look after for the rest of my life? That's crazy. I had postpartum depression also, I must tell you. But I said, somebody had once told me that when you put on weight during your pregnancy, please try and lose it as fast as you can. Don't leave it for later because your body gets used to that extra weight. So 22 kilos, I lost 3 kilos in the delivery. So I had 19 kilos to lose. And I lost 19 kilos in I gave myself 6 months. 6 months to the day, I was down to 52. My son was born on June 17th. And on December 17th, I was doing an event in Dubai, and I got onto the scale and I saw I was 52 kilos. So I gave myself exactly 6 months to lose the weight. And that was because fitness had become a part of my life. And fitness is not just about going to the gym. Fitness or good health is not just about going to the gym and exercising every day. It's about mindful eating. It's about mindful thinking. It's about thinking before you speak. It's about living a life. You know, physical fitness is one part of it, but if you're not mentally fit, if you're not in a space of emotional and mental fitness, none of it works out. So it's a holistic thing, and then when it's a holistic thing, it's a way of life. Yeah? So you live life a certain way when you want to be fit. And you know, it's wonderful that you talked about it in your keynote. What's also very important, and it's something I've had to deal with now, financial literacy is such an important thing. So along with being physically fit and emotionally, mentally fit, it's very important to be financially fit so you can get a good night's sleep at night. You should firstly be able to stand on your own 2 feet, earn your own money. You should be in the know of where it's being invested, or you should know where to invest it. So financial literacy or financial fitness is also very important. Sorry, I threw that in. I heard you talk about it. But yeah, so that's what constitutes fitness. It's not just about physical fitness. And once you get onto that bandwagon, and you know why I do these 21-day, 40-day challenges? Because it takes 21 days to form a habit. You do it for 21 days in a row, then the 22nd day it becomes like second nature. You'll find time in your day to fit that workout in. And the more you do it, now after those 100 days and 365 days, I've stopped counting, but I don't miss a day of exercise. I make sure I find time for exercise in my day, come what may. Even if I have a 6:45 flight in the morning, I get to my hotel room. I don't waste time going to the gym because that means you have to wear the right clothes and look a certain way, and you know that wastes a lot of time. I work out in my hotel room. She wanted to meet me for lunch. I said, listen, I first have to get a little sleep because I woke up at 5 in the morning. And then I want to get a little workout in, which constitutes squats and push-ups and everything. So I didn't have lunch because I had to get my workout in. So you've got to find a way to get exercise into the mix. You know, there's an equation I give people. People say, oh, you know, we don't have time. You're talking about 20 excuses to not exercise. So I give people an equation. We have 24 hours in a day, right? In those 24 hours, let's give 7 hours to sleep. Yeah? 7, 8? Yeah. 7 hours. Because who gets 8 hours of sleep? We don't. So in 7 hours of sleep, in a 24-hour day, that leaves you with 17 hours. In 17 hours, surely you can take out 45 minutes for exercise. Think about it. 45 minutes for yourself. I use that time to say my prayers, to say my affirmations. I multitask there also. It's my me time. I say that time to, use that time to say my prayers, to say my affirmations, to mentally make a note of what needs to be done in the day. That's how I use those 45 minutes or 1 hour or 1 hour, depending on the luxury of time I have. But 45 minutes minimum, 1.5 hours maximum. And that's how I use my time productively. And I don't miss exercise any day, be it a Sunday, be it any day of the week. And my children, They know when I'm lifting weights, they don't come near me. They don't want to talk to me. They shouldn't talk to me because that is my me time, because I'm saying my prayers. They know very well to stay away from me at that particular point of time because that time belongs to me. That is self-love. Yeah? Self-love.
You know, I completely
That is something
endorse.
that I don't know if the women over here are familiar with self-love, but self-love is a very, very important aspect. And if you don't have a question on self-love over here,
Let's add.
add it. I'm going to tell you something about self-love. Self-love has two aspects. One is acceptance. Accept yourself the way you are. Don't beat yourself up about little things you've said, done. We all make mistakes. And then when we don't love ourselves, we just sit and we stew and we say, oh my God, I used to be like that. I know because I'm saying this to you because learn from my mistakes. It's not a good thing. It's counterproductive. If you sit down and say, oh God, I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish it had worked out differently. You just got to let go and you would accept what has happened, be kind to yourself and say, okay, we all make mistakes. So that is one part of self-love, accepting the things you do which may not have gone correctly, also accepting your body and you as the way you are, the person you are. That is self-love. The other part of self-love is, it's not selfishness. The other part of self-love is give yourself that half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it is in your day where your children and your husband and your in-laws and your parents, nobody's disturbing you, where you can get a little bit of yoga in, a little bit of whatever it is that makes you have meditation, yoga, exercise, where you can just mentally switch off from everybody else and everything else. And that helps you be the best version of yourself that you can be. So that part of self-love is also very important. So for me, it's exercise. For somebody else, it could be meditation. For somebody else, it could be yoga, whatever it is. For someone else, it could be a walk. Just give yourself that time. Find someone who can take care of your kids for that particular point of time and give yourself that time, because self-love is not selfishness. Self-love is you giving yourself that little time that you need so you can just, switch off, reset, and come back as the best version of yourself for your children, for your husband, for your parents, your in-laws, whatever. So remember, self-love is very, very important. I discovered it very late in my life. I discovered it in my 40s. I wish I had known it in my 30s. I might have been a different person, but, as they say, nothing happens before its time.
Very true. Thank you so much. And yes, I completely endorse everything that you said. And I didn't have the self-realization, but I have also lost 45 kgs twice in my life. I got
All
45.
right, round of applause.
So yes,
For Madam
self-love is
Chairperson,
important.
wow.
But I didn't work out today, so
That's okay, but you've done this, and you should be very sort of proud of yourself for that journey. Good job, Shubhra. Well done. Pat yourself on the back every now and then.
thank you so much, Mandira. It was so amazing, so delightful to hear such nuggets of wisdom for you. It's so beautiful.
There's one thing I want to end with.
No, we're not ending.
Oh, we're not ending. Okay, sorry.
No, but you please mention that one thing.
No, continue. If there's anything else you want to ask.
We'll open the floor to
Okay,
the
but there is one thing I would like to say. I've had a lot of anger. I am a very positive person right now, but I've had a lot of anger and I've had a lot of negativity, and I've gone through depression. I've done it all. But my overriding negative trait used to be anger, and I was very aware of it. I used to have such a short fuse, and I used to snap at the slightest provocation. And the first step on that one is awareness. When you realize, okay, there is something in you that you want to change. Now, I talked about acceptance a few seconds ago. Accept yourself the way you are, but you can't be a person who just loses their temper at any, slight provocation. So this is something I did want to change in myself. And, as an add-on to taking help, I will say this: when you are down, when you are low, when you are going through something, be it grief, be it loss, be it, anger, be it depression, be it any kind of negativity, take help, and take help of a professional. Because you know what? In our country, for some reason, there's taboo connected with taking help from a professional, from a psychiatrist, a counselor, a psychologist. I must tell you, I've had every kind of therapy, be it clinical therapy, or be it spiritual therapy, or be it hypnotherapy. And I have to tell you, hypnotherapy isn't as bad as it sounds. You're not sitting over there like that with a a locket going tick 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 in front of you. It's not like that. They bring you to a very very deep state of relaxation, and they tell you to access certain things that you push down in your subconscious, and it's brought up, and you're able to release a lot of negativity that way. So I really worked on myself to become a positive person. I've really worked on myself to let go of all that anger that I've had, all the unresolved issues that I've had. I've written a book called Happy for No Reason, because that's an intent I put out every day, that I want to be happy, not because of something that's external to myself. I want to be happy from within. So that is something I've worked on. And the way I've gotten to that, everyone has a way, everyone has something that helps them. And the way that's helped me is gratitude. So I just want to tell everybody, the day you practice, the day you realize what a superpower gratitude is, the day you start practicing gratitude, it will change your life. It really will. This is something I really want to say because it has changed my life. Before I wake up in the morning, before I open my eyes, I put my hand on the floor and I say, thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for the food on my table. Thank you for my children. Thank you for their health. Thank you for my health. Thank you for me being able-bodied to be able to work and, earn a living. I say thank you for what is. I say thank you for what isn't, because what isn't is teaching you something. The day you start saying thank you, that day you'll realize there's so much more to be thankful for. When you start appreciating things, you realize there's more to appreciate. The more you appreciate, the more there is to appreciate. So gratitude is my superpower. Gratitude is what keeps me going. And this is what, whenever I speak to people, I want to let people in on this. Gratitude is the way of life, is my way of life. And I read this somewhere, whenever and wherever there is gratitude, whenever you're feeling truly grateful about something, there's no room for unhappiness. There's no room for anger. There's no room for negativity. So the day you start truly, practicing gratitude, you'll realize you can't be grateful and unhappy at the same time. You can't be grateful and angry at the same time. So that is what has helped me on my journey, and so I wanted to share that.
So lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. We will now open the floor.
Well, on that note.
Come on, Gunjan, say some more nice words about me.
Surely.
I loved your introduction.
Yes. With gratitude to you and to all the members present in the hall, we thank you for this exemplary and very inspiring session. It was really nice to hear you, and we carry back, we all can do it, irrespective, correct? So once we are back home, we will have no qualms of not doing things. We shall do it, we will do it. Thank you. Well, now we open the floor for question and answers. We'll take it from the right side first.
Hi Mandira, I have been an old admirer of yours, and
When I saw your picture when you changed your hairstyle,
I can
just
see a
love it.
very, very beautiful haircut. I was going to comment on that before you said something about my hair. I love your hair.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Neetu. Do we see Mandira the can face anything lady? I presume this. I believe that this rather in politics sometime soon, since that's the arena where we lack the such stronger women and who can set the example with their work.
Well,
You have that charisma, Mandira.
that's very nice. Neetu, you like me, that's what you're saying. You'd like to see me as a politician or a leader. I don't see myself in politics. That's not a direction I've ever looked to or wanted to head into. But I'm also a believer of, going with the flow. And I also know, never say never. Because sometimes you say, I'll never do this. And then you end up doing it and you're left eating your words. So I say, I don't see myself there. But who knows?
yeah, we
Who
would
knows?
love to see you there.
So that's not a direction I see myself heading into, but I mean, who knows? I really do, because in my life, I've driven a truck in the Himalayas, okay? A 14-ton goods carrier truck in the Himalayas across all the highest motorable passes in the world. If somebody had said to me, will you be ever driving a truck? I'd say never. But, I've done it. So if an opportunity presents itself, and at that age and stage in my life, if I'm ready for it, who knows? But at the moment, I don't see myself headed that way. My children need me, and I want to be present for them, and I love the work that I'm doing. I love the work that comes my way. I love every event like this. So I'm enjoying my life and my work so much. I don't see myself headed there at the moment. Thank you for
Thanks,
that question,
Karisma.
Neetu. And you're wearing a lovely sari as well.
Thank you. Thanks.
Really.
Thank you. So, can you please get the... Yeah. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, Ms. Mandira. This is Shruti Malpani here. Thank you for the lively, very heart-to-heart session that you've taken us along with you. Today, I am trying to ask you a very personal question. Please be okay. If you do not want to answer it, I will absolutely understand it. It's just that it's very inquisitive of me that you're such a strong woman and come across with such liveliness in your life, and the zeal that you are, showing us to live life with. You've had a very personal loss that you faced. And I'm just curious to know that how did you face it, and how are you like this inspiring everybody? Is it okay for you to share with all of us which inspires us?
I don't normally, nobody's asked me this question since I lost my husband last year.
Yes.
But I will say this, that it is my responsibility to give my children a happy environment to grow up in. So my grief and my loss is personal, so I will not talk about that.
Okay.
But I've given my children the best possible environment post this loss, and I have to continue working. I have to move onwards and upwards.
Yes.
And that's all I will say, and that's all I can answer at this point.
Thank you very much. See, I do not have wished to ask you this, but I felt very connected and I asked you. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry for that question.
Hi, I'm Pooja. Complete, I wouldn't call myself fangirl, but yeah, if someone follows you completely on Instagram, and I would love to call myself a gym rat. And I know that you follow a lot of fitness formats, like you do yoga and you do run also, and you do strength training. So knowing the experience that you've experimented all the different formats, and this question could be a little offbeat, but it's on a very fitness level. Is there a format that you've tried and you feel that it's like a must that a woman should train, or should get trained under a person, or try it out, which helps mentally along with the physical, movement?
I will say one thing, that if you're into exercise and you've been doing it for a long time, then you don't need a trainer anymore. Then you need your own willpower, and then you know what exercises are for different body parts, and so you'll do them if you have the will yourself. But having said that, I think for women especially, it's very important to do weight training, because women think that if we do weight training, we'll bulk up. That's not the case. Weight training is really good for losing weight as well. It's a combination of what you eat along with that weight training. So weight training is very important for women, especially since we are prone to, our bones getting weak. So that's number one. And I think for flexibility and for all-round core strength, nothing like yoga. So if you can get a good combination of weight training and yoga into the mix, I think you're covered.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, last two questions. Yeah, we'll take on from the left side of the hall, please.
Hello, Mandira. I'm Rachna Goenka.
I never heard your name. sorry.
I'm Rachna Goenka. I just want to ask you, sitting in the cricket room and with all the Dhurenders of the cricket who knows so much about cricket. I just want to know ki how you, just now you said ki they hardly answer you. But especially sitting with Rajdeep Sardesai, he doesn't allow any woman to talk. So how you tackle with her, with him?
That's a nice
to be very honest, I just because I have seen him and he to pretend as if he knows every single thing about the cricket. So just if you can tell us.
Well,
I'm very curious. Thank you.
The thing is, I've never sat with Rajdeep Sardesai. So I'm very lucky that way. I haven't sat with Arnab Goswami either.
Yeah.
But I've sat with people like, Kapil Dev and Chris Shrikant and, Tony Gregg. So, I mean, they are stalwarts, they are purists, they are gurus in cricket. So, I mean, I had all the respect for them when they didn't answer my question, but I'd ask the question again. The reason I don't do cricket on news channels at the moment is because they don't let you talk. So that's why I decided to stay. A lot of news channels ask me to be a part of their panel and everything. And I say, I'll stay away from that. If I'm not doing it with the host broadcaster, I think I can skip it. I can give it a miss. So next time I meet Rajdeep Sardesai, what's your name again?
Goenka.
Rachna.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that he has a very, very big fan in Rachna.
He
Vicky
happens.
Flo, Hyderabad.
No, Mandira, he happens to come here also. But
I'll send him straight to you.
he's a good, but he talks so much and he analyzes everything. That's
the thing with all these lead anchors in news channels.
Thank you.
Arnab, Rajdeep, Sagrika, they don't let you speak.
So, yeah, please. Can you get the microphone there? Yeah, thanks.
Here, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. I'm Twinkle from Deccan Chronicle newspaper. Ma'am, my question to you is, a lot of health experts these days are worried about over-exercising and eating disorders. That is, skipping meals altogether as a formula to lose weight. Have you personally gone through something like that? And what is your advice to people out there who might fall into the trap of losing weight the wrong way or getting healthy the wrong way?
Over-exercising, my mother's on my case all the time. She's the only parent who says, don't exercise. So she would like that question. I don't over-exercise. You're asking me personally or you're asking me to give people advice?
Both, ma'am.
Okay. So personally, I think nobody needs to exercise more than 50 minutes to say an hour 10 a day. Anything more than that is over-exercising. The gym I used to go to, I don't go to the gym anymore, but the gym I used to go to used to have this couple of people actually, what one particular person, couple of people who would come and spend 3 hours at the gym. Because after a certain point, your body is not going to respond to the exercise. It can only exercise that much. The sooner the person learns it, if they have 3 hours to spare and they want to spend it at the gym, good for them. But the sooner the person learns it, the better, because it's not creating any value. As far as skipping meals completely is concerned, I have to tell you, I do intermittent fasting myself. So I eat in a window of 8 hours, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. So normally speaking, it's 8 o'clock is my last meal, and 12 noon the next day is when I start eating again. You know how intermittent fasting works? Do you want me to explain that to you?
No, ma'am. I know.
You know how it works. Okay. So basically, it is the time that you're fasting, and the time you reach something called, I don't know how to pronounce it, autophagy or autophagy.
Autophagy, yeah.
Yes, is when all your bad cells, be it your fat cells or your aging cells, are all, killing themselves off. So actually, it is a very good diet. As long as you eat everything in those 8 hours, I eat everything in those 8 hours. I don't stuff my face with sweets and cake and everything during those 8 hours. But I eat pretty well in those 8 hours when I do eat. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with intermittent fasting. Skipping meals altogether and eating only one meal a day, I don't know, people do that as well. I don't sort of vouch for that, or I don't promote that.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we, okay, last question.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Varuni Jaiswal. I'm an international table tennis champion, actually. So I just want
Varuni?
Yes, Varuni. Ma'am, as you are yourself a fitness enthusiast,
I'm a fitness evangelist.
Sorry. Fitness evangelist and a great personality yourself. Ma'am, as a sports person, as an athlete, I want to ask you one question that, I mean, as a strong woman, what advice you would suggest, what mindset you would suggest for facing tough situations in life and to overcome pressure, tension under, difficult situation?
That's a very good question. I don't know whether I have an answer for it. I just look at it this way. There's something I learned that, as long as you're not stressing about something that hasn't happened yet, you can be strong enough to deal with an obstacle when you get to it. We have this habit of worrying about what if this happened, what if that happened. Start dealing with the obstacle when you get to it rather than stressing about it. So this all comes down to be present. Be present in the moment. Live in the moment. Because, we have a habit of stressing about the past, worrying about the future. If you live in the moment, you will deal with that moment as you're going through it. Rahul Dravid, actually, most cricketers say this, but Rahul Dravid actually used these words and said them to me so I can quote him. He said that, sometimes it's not about the entire innings. It's not about that goal of 350 runs that we have to make. We have to just face each ball to its merit. So when a delivery is coming your way, you have to face that delivery the way it's coming to you at that particular point of time. And that's the only way to deal with things. And that's the only way to get to your goals. Look at the bigger picture. You have to deal with every situation as you're living it. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but this is what I've learned.
It is making complete sense, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for addressing all our queries and clarifying our doubts. I now would request Senior Vice Chairperson Ritu Shah to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Gunjan. A very happy evening to one and all. Never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Life always offers you a second chance. It's called tomorrow. On this note, I, Ritu Shah, take this opportunity on behalf of Flow Hyderabad chapter to thank our esteemed guest speaker, Ms. Mandira Bedi, for gracing us with her powerful presence. Yes, agree with what you said, Mandira. Heaven and hell is indeed in your head. So friends, choose wisely. And always be in the moment and live the moment. Self-belief and self-love is the learning for today. And I should say that we all loved your sense of humor and thoroughly enjoyed your company. Thank you, Mandira. We are touched listening to you today. A generous, heartfelt thank you to all our sponsors. Platinum sponsor, Argentum Arts, The Silversmith. Diamond sponsor, Freedom Rice Bran Oil. Hospitality partner, The Park Hotel. Creative partner, RBC. A big thank you to press and media for placing Flow Hyderabad always at par. Thank you, Park, for the warm hospitality always. A lot of gratitude to all our past chairs and our Flow members with whose presence we always feel motivated to serve better and better. A huge applause to the committee for living and executing the chairperson's vision of Stronger She. And as Shubhra says, she is us. Thank you and Jai Hind. Please kindly join us for the high tea.
So now we need to remind you to get yeah. Just while she starts. So before we close this session, we would like to usher in Miss Mandira's birthday, which is in a few days, by cutting a cake. This sumptuous cake has been graciously baked by our very own Miss Nikhila from her custom cake and dessert bakehouse, 4 ounces. I'll just. I'm going to clap and thank for the cake in a minute. Yes, sure. It's just organized. Thank you.
Yes, who's baked the cake?
Give me a minute.
I want to say
would
thank
like
you.
to. No, I would like to acknowledge and. Can I? May I request all past chairs, present chairs, Flo, Y Flo to come on the dais? She's- Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Madhura. Happy birthday to you. Oh. Thank you, everybody. You've been a wonderful audience, and please join us for high tea.